Nathalie Baye, French actress. April 17, 2026. Age 77. Lewy body dementia. The world of cinema lost one of its most graceful and enduring voices this week. A woman whose face graced more than 80 films, whose eyes carried entire stories without a single word. French actress Nathalie Baye passed away on April 17, 2026. She was 77 years old, and in France, the whole country stopped to mourn. Nathalie Marie-André Baye was born on July 6, 1948, in a quiet village called Mainville in the Normandy region of France. Her parents, Claude and Denise, were both painters, artists themselves, so creativity was woven into her world from the very beginning. As a young girl, she fell in love with dance. At just 14 years old, she packed her bags and left for Monaco to study at a dance school. 3 years later, she moved to the United States. Life abroad sharpened her sense of independence, her awareness of the world, and her hunger for something greater. When she returned to France, she made a decision that would define the rest of her life. She walked away from dance and into acting. She enrolled in the prestigious Conservatoire National Supérieur d'Art Dramatique in Paris, one of the most respected drama schools in all of Europe, and she graduated in 1972 with honors in comedy, dramatic comedy, and foreign theater. The stage was set, literally. Her film career began in 1970, but it was in 1973 that everything changed. That year, the legendary French director François Truffaut was making a film called Day for Night, a film about the art of filmmaking itself, a deeply personal and brilliant project. He cast the young Nathalie Baye as the script girl on set. The film went on to win the Academy Award for Best Foreign Language Film, and Nathalie Baye's name traveled far beyond France for the very first time. She was magnetic, natural, completely real on screen. Throughout the 1970s, she built a steady and deeply respected career. And then in 1980, everything exploded. She won her first César Award, France's equivalent of the Oscar, for Best Supporting Actress for her role in Jean-Luc Godard's Every Man for Himself. A year later, she won again for Strange Affair. And then, in 1982, she delivered what many consider the performance of her life in La Balance, playing a tough, street-smart woman devoted to a man on the wrong side of the law. The film won her the César for Best Actress. By this point, Nathalie Baye was not just an actress. She was a French cinema institution. She would go on to win a fourth César in 2006 for The Young Lieutenant, proving that her brilliance never faded with age. Outside of France, audiences discovered her in Steven Spielberg's Catch Me If You Can in 2002, the beloved film starring Leonardo DiCaprio and Tom Hanks. Nathalie Baye played DiCaprio's devoted French mother with a quiet ache that broke hearts across the world. Later in her career, she appeared in Downton Abbey, A New Era, bringing her elegance and depth to British period drama audiences who fell in love with her all over again. Across 5 decades, she worked with some of the greatest directors in cinema, Truffaut, Godard, Claude Sauté, and she moved between comedy, drama, and thriller with an ease that few actors in history have managed. She appeared in more than 80 films, 10 César nominations, 4 wins, a Chevalier of the Legion of Honor, France's highest civilian honor, awarded to her in 2009. In her later years, Nathalie Baye quietly battled Lewy body dementia, a cruel neurodegenerative disease that sits somewhere between Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. She faced her illness privately, with dignity, shielded from the public eye by her family. She passed away at her home in Paris on the evening of April 17, 2026. She was 77. Her daughter, actress Laura Smet, whose father was the legendary French rock star Johnny Hallyday, confirmed the news. The entire country of France went into mourning. French President Emmanuel Macron wrote, "We loved Nathalie Baye so much. She accompanied, through her voice, her smiles, and her reserve, these last decades of French cinema. An actress with whom we loved, dreamed, and grew up. Nathalie Baye never chased fame. Fame came to her, and she wore it lightly, with grace and humility. She leaves behind a body of work that will be taught in film schools, revisited by generations, and felt in the chest long after the credits roll. If this tribute moved you, please give it a like. It helps us honor more incredible lives like hers. Subscribe to stay with us, because these stories deserve to be told. Rest in peace, Natalie. The screen will be a little dimmer without you. James Tolkan, American actor. March 26, 2026, age 94, cause not disclosed, peaceful. Some actors play one role so perfectly that it becomes part of pop culture forever. James Tolkan was one of those rare actors. He passed away peacefully on March 26, 2026 in Saranac Lake, New York, at the remarkable age of 94. And chances are, you know his face, even if you never knew his name. James Tolkan was born on June 20, 1931, in Calumet, Michigan, a small mining town in the Upper Peninsula of the state. Life was not easy for young James. After his parents divorced, he found himself cycling through Chicago as a teenager with nothing but his will to survive. He eventually settled in Tucson, Arizona, graduated from Amphitheater High School in 1949, and then, like so many young Americans of his generation, he answered his country's call. He served in the United States Navy during the Korean War. When he returned home, he was a different man, calmer, more focused, and burning with a new purpose. He got on a bus for New York City with just $75 in his pocket, found a cold water flat where the rent matched his veteran's check, and went to work on the docks during the day. At night, he went to school. Not just any school, but two of the most legendary acting studios in the world. He trained under Stella Adler and Lee Strasberg, two teachers who shaped a generation of American acting giants. James Tolkan spent 25 years in New York theater. He worked his way from tiny off-Broadway stages all the way to the Great White Way, Broadway itself. One of his proudest theatrical moments came in 1984, when he was part of the original Broadway cast of Glengarry Glen Ross, David Mamet's landmark play that would later become a celebrated film. He played the role of Dave Moss, a desperate, fast-talking salesman, alongside some of the best stage actors of his generation. His film career ran alongside his theater work. He appeared with Al Pacino in Sidney Lumet's Serpico in 1973, and again in Prince of the City in 1981. He had a dual role in Woody Allen's Love and Death. He showed up in the Amityville Horror, War Games, and dozens more. But then came 1985, and everything changed. Robert Zemeckis cast James Tolkan in Back to the Future as Gerald Strickland, the bow-tie-wearing, slacker-hunting, perpetually furious school principal who terrorized Marty McFly at Hill Valley High. "You got a real attitude problem, McFly. You're a slacker. You remind me of your father when he went here." He was a slacker, too. Audiences loved him. The role was so iconic that Tolkan returned for the sequels and then played Strickland's grandfather in Back to the Future Part 3. Just 1 year later, in 1986, he appeared in Tony Scott's Top Gun, playing Commander Tom Stinger Jardian, the steely officer who pushes Maverick to rise above his arrogance. Tom Cruise on one side, James Tolkan staring him down on the other, two legendary films, back to back. The man earned his place in cinema history. James Tolkan worked consistently until 2015, with his final screen credit in the cult horror film Bone Tomahawk. He spent his later years in Saranac Lake, New York, a quiet Adirondack community, with his wife Parmalee Wells, whom he had met on the set of an off-Broadway play in 1971. They were married for 54 years. He died peacefully on March 26, 2026, at the age of 94. No cause of death was given. His family simply said he passed peacefully. He was also known to adore animals. His family asked that donations in his memory go to local animal shelters and humane societies. From the docks of New York to the grandest stages of Broadway and Hollywood, James Tolkan lived a life that most actors could only dream of. 94 years of purpose, craft, and dedication. He made authority menacing. He made discipline funny. And he made every scene he entered just a little bit more electric. Thank you for watching and remembering James Tolkan with us. If you enjoyed this tribute, please subscribe. We tell these stories so these legends are never forgotten. 94 years well lived. Rest in peace, Mr. Strickland. Africa Bambaataa, American DJ, rapper and producer. April 9th, 2026. Age 68. Prostate cancer. This is a complicated story. It is the story of a man who helped build one of the most powerful cultural movements the world has ever seen, and a man whose personal life cast a long and painful shadow over everything he created. Africa Bambaataa, the godfather of hip-hop, died on April 9, 2026 in Pennsylvania from complications of prostate cancer. He was 68 years old. We will tell his story honestly, the music, the legacy, and the darkness. His real name was Lance Taylor. He was born on April 17, 1957 in the South Bronx, New York City, one of the most underserved and overlooked neighborhoods in America at the time. He grew up in the Bronx River Houses, a public housing complex where poverty, violence, and gang life were simply part of the landscape. As a teenager, Lance Taylor rose quickly through the ranks of the Black Spades, one of the most powerful street gangs in New York. He became their warlord, but something shifted in him. He won an essay contest that took him to Africa. He watched the film Zulu and was moved by the solidarity of the Zulu people. He returned home with a new name, Africa Bambaataa, and a new vision. He would use music, not violence, to transform the streets. In the early 1970s, Bambaataa began hosting block parties across the South Bronx. Massive, joyful gatherings where he served as the DJ, the conductor, the architect of something new. Alongside DJ Kool Herc and Grandmaster Flash, he became one of the three founding fathers of hip-hop. His style was different. While others focused on funk and soul, Bambaataa dug deep into his enormous vinyl collection. He played everything: rock, electronic, soundtracks, commercials. He mixed genres that no one thought could be mixed. In 1977, he founded the Universal Zulu Nation, the world's first hip-hop organization dedicated to peace, unity, love, and having fun. The idea was revolutionary: take young people out of gangs and give them DJ decks, breakdancing, graffiti art, and microphones instead. Then, in 1982, he changed music forever, working with producer Arthur Baker. Africa Bambaataa and the Soul Sonic Force released Planet Rock, a song that fused hip-hop breakbeats with the electronic synthesizers of the German group Kraftwerk. Nothing like it had ever existed. It was futuristic. It was irresistible. It became a massive hit, reaching the top 5 on the R&B charts and spreading hip-hop across Europe and the rest of the world. Planet Rock is now considered one of the most important songs in the history of popular music. It gave birth to electro-funk, influenced techno, house, and electronic dance music for decades to come. He followed it with Looking for the Perfect Beat and participated in the iconic anti-apartheid project Sun City in 1985, bringing together artists like Run DMC, U2, and Bruce Springsteen. He was appointed a visiting scholar at Cornell University in 2012, a recognition of his cultural impact. In 2016, multiple men came forward to accuse Africa Bambaataa of sexually abusing them as children. Dating back to the 1980s, he denied all accusations, but the sheer volume of claims was devastating. He stepped down from the Universal Zulu Nation, which issued a formal apology to survivors. In 2025, a court issued a default judgment against him in a civil case after he failed to appear. These are serious allegations. The pain of those who came forward is real. Their voices matter, and this part of the story cannot be erased. Africa Bambaataa died in Pennsylvania in the early hours of April 9, 2026, from complications of prostate cancer. He was 68 years old. His death was confirmed by his lawyer and by fellow Zulu Nation member Mick Benzo. Hip-hop today is the most listened-to music genre in the world. It shapes fashion, language, politics, and culture on every continent. And Africa Bambaataa was one of the people who built it, brick by brick in the South Bronx, with nothing but records and a vision. His musical legacy is undeniable. His personal failures are also undeniable. History will hold both together. This was a story that needed to be told in full. If you appreciate honest tributes like this, please subscribe and ring the bell. We'll see you in the next one. Michael Patrick, Northern Irish actor, April 7th, 2026, age 35, motor neurone disease. Sometimes the most devastating losses are the youngest ones. The ones where you think, and this person had so much more to give. Michael Patrick was 35 years old when he died. 35. The Northern Irish actor, known for his roles in Game of Thrones, Blue Lights, and This Town, passed away on April 7, 2026, in the Northern Ireland hospice, surrounded by his family and the people who loved him most. He had spent 3 years fighting motor neurone disease with courage, openness, and a spirit that moved everyone around him. Michael Patrick grew up in Northern Ireland, a place with a rich and deeply emotional theatrical tradition. From the beginning, he was drawn to storytelling. He had an instinct for it, a gift. He pursued acting and writing with an intensity that went beyond profession. It was a calling. He developed a creative partnership with playwright Oisin Kearney that would define much of his most meaningful work, collaborating on plays that walked the razor-thin line between comedy and tragedy, between laughter and grief. His writing partner later remembered him as someone who believed a play should never bore and always entertain. That philosophy carried into everything Michael Patrick did. Michael Patrick built his career the way most honest actors do, with patience, dedication, and a long string of smaller roles that grew steadily into something bigger. He appeared in Game of Thrones, the global phenomenon that turned HBO into a cultural force, playing a wildling rioter in a show watched by hundreds of millions of people around the world. It was not a starring role, but it was a beginning. It was a foot in the door of something massive. He went on to appear in Blue Lights, the acclaimed Northern Irish crime drama that quickly became one of the most praised British and Irish TV shows of its era. Blue Lights felt urgent and real, rooted deeply in the streets of Belfast. And Michael Patrick brought that same authenticity to his role. He also appeared in This Town, the coming-of-age drama set in 1980s Birmingham, which became a major BBC hit. He was building something, a body of work, a career, a future. And then, in February 2023, everything changed. At just 32 years old, Michael Patrick was diagnosed with motor neurone disease, MND. This is a condition that systematically destroys the nerve cells that control movement. It takes away walking, then speaking, then swallowing, then breathing. There is no cure, and it does not stop. For many people, a diagnosis like this would be a reason to retreat from the world, to close the curtains and grieve in private. Michael Patrick chose the opposite. He went public. He shared updates with his followers. He filmed videos from his wheelchair. He advocated. He laughed. He showed up as a husband, as a friend, as a human being refusing to disappear. In August 2025, even as his mobility failed, he filmed a message to thank everyone who had donated to help him afford a wheelchair, an adapted bed, and a van so he could still move through the world. He was admitted to the Northern Ireland hospice 10 days before his death. His wife, Naomi Sheehan, announced his passing on April 9th with a photo from their wedding day and words that broke hearts across the internet. He passed peacefully surrounded by family and friends, she wrote. He lived a life as full as any human can live. Joy, abundance of spirit, infectious laughter. A titan of a ginger-haired man. His writing. Partner Oisin Kearney called him an actor of epic proportions, someone who could make an audience laugh or cry in an instant. Michael Patrick leaves behind his wife Naomi, a career that was only just beginning, and a lesson in how to face the unthinkable with grace and fire and love. 35 years. Not enough, but lived to the fullest. Please like this video and subscribe if this tribute moved you. We tell these stories because every life matters, especially the ones cut short. Rest in peace, Michael Patrick. Ireland is proud of you. D. Freeman, American actress. April 2nd, 2026. Age 66. Stage 4. lung cancer. Some people carry themselves in a way that makes everyone around them feel seen. Dee Freeman was one of those people, a veteran actress, a former Marine, a fighter in every sense of the word. Dee Freeman passed away peacefully on April 2, 2026, at the age of 66, after a brave and fearless battle with stage 4 lung cancer. The entertainment world lost a quiet powerhouse, and the people who knew her personally lost so much more. Dee Freeman was born in 1959 in Louisiana, the Deep South, a place with a history both painful and proud, a place that shapes people with a particular kind of strength. After finishing high school, she made a choice that very few young women of her era made. She enlisted in the United States Marine Corps. Think about that for a moment. She didn't go straight to Hollywood. She didn't go to drama school first. She went to boot camp. She trained alongside soldiers. She served her country. And the discipline, the toughness, and the unshakable sense of purpose she built in those years, that stayed with her for the rest of her life. After her military service, she returned to civilian life with one thing on her mind: the arts. Dee Freeman began in theater, the way so many of the best actors do. The stage demands everything of you. There's nowhere to hide, no second take, and she was ready for that. She transitioned to television and film in the 1990s, building a career with quiet steadiness. She appeared in some of the biggest and most beloved shows in television history: Seinfeld, The X-Files, ER, Boston Public, 6 Feet Under, Ghost Whisperer, Dexter, NCIS, Los Angeles, Shameless. If you were watching American television in the late 1990s and 2000s, chances are you saw Dee Freeman's face, even if you didn't know her name yet. She had that kind of presence. Her most consistent role came on The Young and the Restless, the iconic CBS soap opera, one of the longest-running daytime dramas in television history. She appeared in multiple episodes across more than a decade, playing both a nurse and a judge. In her final years, Dee Freeman found a whole new generation of fans through Tyler Perry's Sistas, one of the most-watched drama series on cable television, known for its sharp writing, powerful performances, and devoted audience. She joined the cast in seasons 9 and 10, playing Valerie Barnes, the mother of the lead character Andy Barnes, played by KJ Smith Black. It was a warm, layered role, and she brought every ounce of her experience to it. At the same time she was filming Sistas, Dee Freeman was quietly working on something deeply personal, a novel adaptation of her one-woman show called Poison Gun, inspired by the history of her own family. It was the kind of project that tells you everything about an artist, one who never stopped searching, never stopped creating, never stopped digging into the truth of human experience. In October 2025, Dee Freeman went public with devastating news. She had been diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer, a diagnosis her doctors told her was incurable. She shared the news openly, without self-pity, and launched a GoFundMe to help cover the extraordinary medical expenses that insurance didn't cover. She asked casting directors to keep hiring her for small roles. She was still willing to show up, still willing to work. That is the definition of a fighter. Her publicist, Desiree L. Benson, said, even in the face of stage 4 lung cancer, she showed up with courage and dignity. Dee had a quiet power that commanded respect without ever needing to demand it. On April 2, 2026, she passed away peacefully. Her family confirmed the news the following day. It blew her away to know how many people cared about her, they wrote. We know Dee is up there in heaven being the force of nature she always was. Now she's doing it with her angel wings on. She is survived by her 2 children, Amber and Shane, her mother and her brothers and sisters. From the Marine Corps to the Broadway stage, from daytime television to primetime dramas, Dee Freeman built a life on her own terms. She served her country before she served her art, and she brought military discipline to a career that demanded everything. Her legacy is not only in what you can watch on a screen, it's in how she made people feel, seen, respected, and worthy. Thank you so much for watching this tribute to Dee Freeman. If her story moved you, please subscribe and share. Every click is a way of keeping her memory alive. Rest in peace, Dee. You fought like a Marine until the very end.